Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the football betting series here on YouTube UEFA edition. As Matchday 5 approaches, we're sitting on a pretty decent record on the continent, 14 wins, 3 losses and 2 pushes, and a profit of £183.33. Adding this to the series data, and we're sitting on an overall record of 64 wins, 22 losses and 10 pushes, and a series profit of £452.11. I've got a couple of selections coming up from both the Champions League and Europa League, so if you think I'm talking some sense, please drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more content. Without further ado, let's get into it. We kick things off in the Champions League as 36th place Slovan play host to 20th place AC Milan. And Slovan, despite taking the lead, were bested in their last game against Dinamo Zagreb. Slovan held the lead for about 5 minutes before Zagreb got an equaliser. Sušić scored after half an hour to take the lead into the break for the Croats before 2 more were added in the second period. 4-1 the final score. In terms of form, this does mean there's 4 games played and 4 losses for Slovan, and they do have the worst goal difference in the Champions League, so it's no wonder they're sitting bottom of the table. They host an AC Milan side who picked up a great result in their last match, away at the Bernabeu against Real Madrid. Milan did have to dig in deep for the points as they did face 23 efforts and a combined XG of 2.66 from Madrid. However, it was only Vini Jr.'s penalty which managed to break through, so it was a well-earned 3 points on the road in the Champions League for the Italians. In terms of form, after a slow start with losses against both Liverpool and Bayer Leverkusen, Milan have started to pick up the results. They picked up that 3-1 result in Bruges on Matchday 3 and the massive victory against Real Madrid last time out. All of this is only good enough for 20th place in the league, and they do need to keep winning in order to book themselves a playoff spot. My prediction is that Slovan have struggled to defend against all sides they have played. They shipped 4 goals against Zagreb last time out, and Milan will really fancy their chances in this one, and they find themselves in a position where they can't rest on their laurels and they need to keep accruing points in order to stay in the competition. I think AC Milan will pick up a win in this one, but I'm not 100% sure of what sort of lineup we're going to look at. And based on Slovan showing to this point in the competition, they could be underestimated. And for this reason, I'm going to back the Italians, but only for a half stake to open up the episode. Sticking with the Champions League, we have 34th place Young Boys playing host to 9th place Atalanta. And Young Boys were bested by Shakhtar Donetsk in their last match. Emery's opening goal was overturned almost immediately by Zubkov, before Sudakov added the winning goal in the 41st minute. In the second half, the Young Boys couldn't really create much, taking just 6 shots and forcing 1 save whilst chasing the game from a losing position. In terms of form, it is 4 losses in a row for the Swiss side, with just 1 goal scored to their 11 conceded. It has been an utter disaster of a campaign for the Young Boys, and they're really not going to have much of a hope of securing a top 24 spot without a dramatic change in circumstances. They host an Atalanta side who are coming off their 2-0 win against Stuttgart. 2 second-half strikes from Lookman and Zaniolo were the difference, and the scoreline definitely reflected Atalanta's superiority in the game. Despite Stuttgart taking more shots and both sides creating 2 big chances, the real difference was in the quality of the chances shown. Atalanta's shots combined for an XG of 2.27, completely outclassing their hosts' 0.97. In terms of away form, Atalanta are unbeaten at the halfway mark of the competition, but only 5 goals scored is a bit of a cause for concern. The 0-0 draw against Arsenal was a good result from the Bergamo side, but there were definitely questions raised as they also shared a goalless draw against Scottish champions Celtic. In terms of the head-to-head record, the previous encounter between these 2 sides took place in the group stage of the 2021 version of the Champions League, a game in which both sides went toe-to-toe, taking a combined 29 shots between them. The second group game was less eventful, Atalanta recording a 1-0 win in Bergamo, so they are unbeaten against the Young Boys in the 2 competitive matches they have played. My prediction for this game is that Atalanta are certainly the stronger side of the 2 here, and one thing that did jump out to me was their remaining fixtures. Atalanta still need to play Real Madrid and Barcelona, and as such will need to pick up points in this match if they are to book themselves a playoff spot. With this in mind, I'm going to be backing them to win this match outright for a full stake in bet number 2. Moving on to Thursday nights in the Europa League, we have 6th place Athletic Bilbao playing host to 24th place Elfsborg. And Bilbao, they fell behind in their last game against Ludogorets before scoring twice in as many minutes in the second half to turn the tables and win 2-1. But this narrow margin of victory does hide the dominance that the Spanish side showed, especially late on in the match. Bilbao generated 4 times the amount of shots and were just shy of 4 times the amount of XG generated in the second period. In terms of form, this does mean that Bilbao are unbeaten in the Europa League, winning each of their last 3 matches. They host an Elfsborg side who scored late on to secure a well-earned point against Braga in their last Europa League match. Statistically, it was the Portuguese side that were dominant, but they did only manage to score 1 goal, and that was thanks to an own goal. Elfsborg's form has not been amazing though, 1 win from 4 matches, but when we consider that their opponents in their opening 4 games were AZ Alkmaar, Roma, Galatasaray and Braga, perhaps they've not done too badly. There's no head-to-head record to speak of, so straight on to the prediction. And I think Bilbao are going to pick up another win on the continent in this one. Spanish sides always take continental football incredibly seriously, and the Europa League represents a fantastic chance for Bilbao to pick up a trophy, much in the same vein as Atleti did in 2018, Villarreal did in 2021, or Sevilla in 2023. With this in mind, and with the Basque side at home, I will back them to pick up a win for a full stake in this one. Our 4th and final selection in today's episode sees top of the table Lazio playing host to 34th place Ludogorets. And Lazio, they picked up a late winner in their match against Porto. Pedro's 92nd minute strike saw the side from Rome collect all 3 points to maintain their perfect record in the Europa League, with 4 wins from 4. Looking at the numbers for this game though, it does suggest that Lazio were the deserved winners. They won out on shots, shots on target, goals created and expected goals, and this was all in the face of Porto slightly edging the possession stats and outpassing the Italians, so they definitely made the ball count when they had it. In terms of form, Lazio are the only side in the Europa League with a 100% record with those 4 wins from 4, and they host a Ludogorets side who faced another loss in their last match, this time at the hands of Bilbao by 2-1. Despite the Bulgars taking a first half lead, the 2 goals in 2 minutes from Inaki Williams and Serrano did turn the tables, allowing the Spanish to pick up 3 points. And to be fair, on the balance of play, this was the correct result, with Bilbao winning on every major win predictor statistic, but the nature of the 2-minute collapse will disappoint Ludogorets fans. In terms of form, this is back-to-back losses in the Europa League, and they are winless in their 4 matches. A complete contrast to their domestic form where they are unbeaten in 14 matches at the time of recording. Therefore, my prediction is I really fancy Lazio here. Their record is perfect for a reason. They average 13 efforts across their games, and they also average 2.17 XG over their 4 matches played. At the same time, they have reduced opponents to around 8 efforts per game and only allows an XG on average of 0.61. Up against a side of like Ludogorets, who have invested on shots in all their games and XG in 3 of their 4 matches. If Lazio play a strong side, I fail to see anything other than a win for the Italians, so I'm going to back them for a full stake in the final bet of today's episode. So there we have it, 4 picks in today's episode, all of which are highlighted in yellow because at the time of recording the odds are not released yet and we are in the middle of the international break. Nevertheless, I have projected to where I think the odds will be, where I'll be comfortable backing them. So without further ado, let's summarise things with Slovan versus AC Milan. We're going to be backing the away side, odds of around 1.4, a £20 half stake to return 8. Also in the Champions League, Young Boys Atalanta, again we're backing the away side, Atalanta, odds of 1.5, a £40 stake to return 20. Moving across to Europa League, Athletic Bilbao versus Elfsborg, we're going to be backing Bilbao at home, odds of 1.4, a £40 stake to return 16. And wrapping up the episode, we're backing the other home side, Lazio against Ludogorets. I'm expecting the odds to be around 1.3, so a £40 full stake to return 12. So across the midweek, we're going to be risking £140 to hopefully pick up as much as 56. Will we do so? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to tune into next episode. But if you have made it to this point in the video, please drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more content. And as always, have yourself a lovely day.